So I want to give you a case study on training day, but it's going to make the most sense if you've gone through Propp's functions and seen how all that works and be able to recognize the function that I'll be referring to in this talk. Now, Training Day tells the story of a rookie cop named Jake who finds himself rising the ranks of an undercover police unit headed by Alonzo. And the movie begins by quickly establishing that being in Alonzo's group will support Jake's driving ambition, which is to provide his wife and newborn child with a home, and it even uses the language of a white picket fence, and you have this sense of eternal security and everything being okay. But when Alonzo implicates Jake in a crime in order to get money he needs to pay off Russian gang members that he's enraged, Jake escapes the trap and gets revenge on Alonzo. And his treatment of Alonzo symbolically restores justice and establishes Jake's true heroism and restores balance when evil gets its due. Now, everything that happens to Jake during this training day conflicts with his true need, which is the need to be lawful. So the story's inner form primarily settles in innocence versus experience, but it touches on all the others as well. And, you know, Jake is new to the field, and he relies on everything Alonzo tells him to form a picture of the world that he stepped into. At the same time, Jake struggles with reason versus passion. He's really passionate about being a good cop, and he wants to belong to Alonzo's high-profile unit. But he quickly sees that everything goes against the logic of the law that he cherishes and wants to uphold. It goes against reason. When it comes to body versus soul, Alonzo tricks Jake into taking PCP-laced marijuana, which places a divide between his normal physical awareness and his ability to defend himself psychologically. After all, he might cherish the law in his heart, but now his body proves that he's a criminal because his blood is filled with illegal substances, so it won't matter what he says, doesn't matter what reasonable thing he says, there's proof in his body. So his psychology is divided from his body in a very, very real way, in a consequential way. Moreover, Alonzo has Jake remove his wedding ring. And this scene is so powerful because it uses the receipt of agent logic that we learned from Propp, and in a really interesting way. So when Alonzo tells Jake to remove his ring, the reason makes sense. As an undercover cop posing as a street thug, Jake can't walk around projecting any sign that he's really a family man. So at a symbolic level, removing the ring removes Jake's body from the symbolic spiritual protection of marriage and probably his moral protection as well. And this scene is so interesting because it has parallel structure. At the end of the movie, Jake takes Alonzo's badge. So the act not only proves Jake's heroism, but it literally and symbolically removes Alonzo's protection as an officer of the law. So Jake has his protection removed with the ring, and later Alonzo has his protection removed, symbolic protection, by having the badge removed. So in Alonzo's neighborhood, no one comes to his aid, and shortly thereafter, he's executed gangland style from these Russians. So if I do nothing else in this course, I want you to recognize these structural elements and these function elements from Propp. And so much of the success of Training Day revolves around things coming full circle like that, like this exchange of the ring for the badge. This is a critical example of why certain stories feel so complete, become so legendary, and you don't notice them at a surface level unless you really think about them and unless you have these tools of analysis. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are about Propp and about Training Day and what else you might have noticed, because there are certainly other functions going on.